If you've been struggling with client acquisition, service delivery, or even just getting up, doing the work you know you need to do, having the right mindset, the right belief systems, and you're struggling to sign a client, maybe scale past 1, 2, 3K a month, we have made the 20K a month recipe specifically for you guys who are struggling to grow and break through. So we're covering things from the mindset, the offers, the sales systems, and the service delivery and retention side of things, so that you have everything you need dialed in to hit 20K per month with your agency. We have a little comparison board here. We've got 20K a month agency versus freelancer agency. Now, what do we mean by freelancer agency? It's pretty much those of you that feel like you're in a constant loop, right? You don't know where the next client is going to come from. You're struggling to make the most out of your time. Yeah, you feel like it's always trading time, isn't it? Exactly. Like, you're not really an agency if it's just you or you and a friend doing everything without actually, outsourcing work. You're not building a business. You're just working freelance. That's what freelance is, right? Yeah, pretty much just working a job, project to project. Exactly. And you're working 24/7. You're either doing outreach, you're doing service delivery, or you're just watching and consuming content to get to the level that you want to get to. So hopefully this is the last video that you watch to get you to that 20K per month. Absolutely. So me and Elias have been business partners for the last 3 years since we started. And, we've grown our own agency, our own coaching business, helping agency owners scale. And we've been in this space for the last 3 years. And we sat down for a few hours and wrote down exactly what you guys need to focus on. And here it is. So we'll start off with the 20K a month agency, mindset, vision, and philosophies. So number one, essentially, guys, the first thing you guys want to go through is the abundance mindset. So if you compare that with the freelancer agency, if that's you right now, you're going to probably have a scarcity mindset. You think money is scarce, you think money is hard to get. You're scared of the high ticket mentality and you're just comfortable with charging $300, $400, $500 or pounds, right? But the difference is if you want to be hitting those 20K months, you have to change your mindset. It all starts from the way you view money. Money is not scarce. It is not hard to get. And you have to adopt a high ticket mentality to target businesses that sell high ticket services and essentially sell your services for upwards of 1, 2, 3, 4K. Yeah, so a lot of you are in this zone right now, scarcity. And what that leads to is essentially you charging very low retainers or an overwhelming amount of free trials, which you don't need, because all you really need is one client that you got good results for, and you have to leverage that to get high ticket retainers. A lot of you guys are stuck, low retainers, bunch of free trials. You don't really believe it's possible. And that's what's keeping you in that freelancer zone. Step out of your comfort zone. Because it starts with the way they spend their money as well. Because look, for example, I know people that still bump train, that still, they're just trying to get around just to save that 1, 2, 3, 4 pounds, right? Or they won't get large on their meals, or they're just looking at every penny pinching, right? What you're essentially telling yourself is, the money that I have now is all I have for a while. You're telling yourself, like, I'm in a scarce mode. I'm in survival mode right now. Your brain is in survival instincts. So it's just pinching every single penny you've got. You need to switch your mind, and it all starts from you acknowledging it, which is why obviously you're here to watch this video. And essentially, once you acknowledge it, change the mindset. So when you spend your money, don't spend it like it's the last pennies you've got, right? Spend it as if you're gonna make money this week, this month. And that's the actionable steps I would take to get me into that direction in terms of mentality side. Yeah, that leads us into point 2, which is identity shifting. So, investing in yourselves, right? And the agency to level up, changing your environment and your day-to-day. So to shift your identity, you have to do things that you're not doing right now. If you do the same things continuously, then you're not shifting your identity. You're just proving that you are the same person. Exactly. This quote is like, nothing changes if nothing changes. Very simple quote, but you can't expect to be a different person, but do the same things. So again, investing in yourself and the agency to level up. Where can you invest in yourself, right? Where are you struggling? Is it you struggling to bring in clients? You want a proven offer, a roadmap, any systems to build out? Environmental change, just before we get into that. And that's why you guys are in the position you're in right now. It's because the actions that you're putting in up until now have got you to the stage that you're at now. So if you think just by, playing it out, watching it out,
that your environment is just suddenly going to change. You're suddenly going to be making 10, 20, 30K a month. It's not going to happen. You need information. You need to change your inputs. And that is exactly how you'll get to the changed environment that you want to get to. And that brings us onto the environmental change, which is obviously very, very self-explanatory. Everyone knows this. You're the sum of the top 5 friends you hang around with, but no one seems to do anything, right?
No one does anything about it. And we felt locked up as well because we were in school. We still go to school, guys, right? We're around people with scarcity mindsets, around people who they don't really care about improving themselves. They kind of just live the day to day for fulfillment, right? Party this day, party that day. So we're around a lot of that. And so are you guys. But you have to actively be seeking new connections in a new environment. People who are ahead of you, just 1 or 2 steps. People who've already made it. This is very important. You get into those environments so that at least there's a balance and you're not consistently going down, down, down.
And like, don't get us wrong. By all means, socialize. We have friends that aren't doing this, and we socialize, right? But there's a fine line between socializing and essentially just molding your identity with them. And those are not people that want to hit the goals that you want to hit, right? You have bigger dreams. So you have to be around people that have those dreams. And that's what me and Geronimo do really well as business partners. We both have a very, very big same shared goal. And, we're around each other almost every day, as 5 days a week, like just because we're business partners. But in terms of networking events, our network through our students, like our students and the community is such a great place to bounce off each other, push each other. We've got people messaging every day. I signed a 1.5K client. I signed a 2K client. I just generated my client 50K in a job. I just, hit my first 100 leads this month with this client. Like, that motivates me. And if that doesn't motivate you as a viewer who wants to hit your goal of, hitting 10, 20, 30K a month, reaching financial freedom and being able to work for yourself, then I don't know what will. So yeah, your environment is very important. And as you can see in the freelancer side of things, small mindset circles, that's exactly what I was getting at in terms of your friends might not all have the same vision as you. So always put yourself in circles where people want to improve themselves. And if their dream is not the same as yours, at least make it bigger,
Yeah. So you guys are, attracting the same person every day, not taking bets on yourselves, playing it safe, right? So that's identity locking, sticking to the same person. So yeah, and then obviously your day-to-day, right? Day-to-day ties into just changing your inputs, the time you wake up, the actions that you do day-to-day. If you're someone who scrolls a lot, puts things off a lot, you have to start changing things like this so that your day-to-day essentially molds you into a new person. And that's that. Then we got long-term vision.
Yeah, no, 100%. The long-term vision, you guys all have this idea of, I want to hit 10K a month, I want to hit 20K a month. But are you actually working towards building a business for your future, for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line? Or are you just looking for quick cash? This guy wants this, I'm going to make it for him $500, $600, $200, $300. Like, there's a very big difference, right? The main difference is in your inputs. So when me and Geronimo first started out, we went a long time without seeing like the results we were looking for. Yes, we saw some small results, but not what we were looking for. And that might be you as well, right? So what you have to focus on, and this is what we had in mind, is that long-term vision. We just have to keep doing what we know we need to keep doing. And down the line, essentially the results will come. It's just a matter of time. But as long as we put our inputs in a mindset of delayed gratification where we're not waiting for the outcomes to come instantly, that's how we build something sustainable and something that will actually be a real business for you longer term. That's actually going to fund your lifestyle and your life in the future.
Guys, me and Elias, we were going door to door to restaurants after school. So we finished the full day of school. It'd be about 4:45.
Yeah.
And we'd have today's goal is to book 3 meetings. So we would go to every restaurant, barber, dentist in the area that we decided to go. We would literally go and speak to the owner if they were there, try to book meetings, and we really didn't rest until, we hit the goals. And what that did is that even on those days we didn't get results, we kept doing the day-to-day and the day-to-day. So there was always rewards and clients that we brought on only because we saw the long-term vision.
Exactly. And don't get us wrong, there were so many streets we pitched that we had no results in. We'd pitch a whole street, no one would get
No
back
one,
to us.
yeah, 100%.
So you have to have that long-term vision in mind and not just look for instant
Yeah,
results.
that's what's gonna help you push.
Exactly. And that also ties into forming long-term relationships and connections. Forming relationships, like for example, in the community where you get to know people who also have long-term visions. So later down the line, you know they're all working on something. You might be able to sell them something. They might be able to sell you something that helps you, right? You can all help each other. So looking for those long-term connections rather than, oh yeah, let me just sell him this and that's it. Don't know. We've got clients that we've worked with from day one.
Literally, it's been like 3 years.
And that's
client.
because we've looked for that long-term connection, and we're obviously getting to how to retain clients and how to build that relationship later in this video. But always look for that long-term connection. If you see someone and he's working on something or they have that vision,
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, then we have take risks. So, you know, the 20K a month agency owner, he takes risks. All right. So essentially there's no plan B, gives 100% to plan A, which makes it impossible to fail. Because think about it like this. If there's only one goal in mind and you're always pushing and striving for that one goal, then you can't fail unless you give up. All right. And giving up is not an option. So technically you can't fail.
and that's exactly why freelancers don't make it with their agency, because they're always playing it safe. They're always thinking about a plan B, and as a result of that, they only give 50% to plan A, which results in failure. It just results in failure.
100%.
So that's why you have to go all in and take risks, because everyone that's made it has taken risks. The people that don't make it,
They don't.
they'll
Yeah.
tell you
Play
that
it
plan
safe.
B, plan C, you know what I mean?
They play it safe. Or if this goes wrong, then at least I have my qualifications and my job and this and this. And that just means they never really try. They never have that urgency to make it happen.
And this is a question I want to ask you as a viewer. Do you think you're giving 100% of your effort day to day to make this work? Is there anything more you can do? If the answer to that is yes, you can do more, then you're not the person that makes 20K per month. Or you're not yet. You're not going to attract that. And that's what you need to change. You need to give 100% effort. 100% effort every day, day in, day out.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going to result in your success.
Absolutely. And then to wrap up the mindset, vision, and philosophies, is that a 20K a month agency sees money as a tool.
Big
right?
one. Yeah, this is a big one.
ROI, progress, closer to success.
Exactly. Like, as agency owners ourselves, if we can invest into something and it brings ROI to us or to our clients, by all means, go ahead. Like, don't penny pinch. Don't go on the freelancer side of things.
Yeah.
They're not looking for return on their investment. They only, they leave money in the bank with just this depreciation and no progress. So if you're not taking risks, if you're not constantly looking for something to uplift your agency, uplift yourself, even your own skills, then you're going to get to where you want to get to slower. I'm just going to say trial and error, and it's going to waste a lot of time.
Things like software, things like mentorship, something that you know is going to help you and put you in the best position for you to, get closer to your goals.
You need outsourcing work as well.
Outsourcing work. You have to use the money that you have to grow. Because at the end of the day, if you don't use the money you have to grow, then you're always going to be in a constant loop of hard work without leverage.
A lot of you guys in this game, you all played video games, right? And the biggest one is GTA. In GTA, if you want to make money, you've got to invest in a business. You have to buy the warehouse, you have to buy the supplies, right? So why in real life is it different? It's the same. You have to invest to get something back out. And I know a lot of you know this, but you just have to have that mindset change again. How that you see money. The 20K a month agency owner sees it differently to the freelancer. And the freelancer's tight, the agency owner's abundant.
The thing is that a lot of us, you might think you see money as a tool, but if you look at, where you allocate your money, is that true? Do you actually see money as a tool? Because a lot of you guys might say, oh yeah, I see money as a tool, but
I bought a book.
You bought
bought a book last month, 20 years.
You have to take it to that next level, because that's just going to put you in a better position than others who are too scared to do that. So absolutely, don't just see it as a lifeline and hide it in the bank. Go take it to that next level, use it to grow.
So that now brings us on to our offers. Now, our offers is one of the most important parts, I'd say, in the sales process, because you don't have to convince someone to buy something if they need it and if they really want it, right? So essentially, the main difference between the 20K a month agency owner and the freelancer is that the freelancer is just niche hopping. They're looking to work with anyone and do anything just for small cash, right? And that was us at one point.
Yeah, so that was, we pretty much, any client that we got referred, anyone, even if it's like in a completely different industry, right, we would actually bring them on board. And it's good for short-term cash. So if you're a complete beginner, then I wouldn't push them away. Kind of still see if you can help them.
And it
Maybe
builds
help
experience as
pivot
well.
into a new
Yeah.
niche, which is what we done. We got referred from a construction company into a car rental client, and then we ended up liking the car rental niche a lot. But we didn't really see that exponential growth until we niched down and kind of helped one specific avatar. But don't get it mixed up. Niching down doesn't mean that you have to help someone very specific. It could just mean you're niching down into a specific field, like home improvement field. There's a lot of home improvement businesses, residential construction, roofing,
Yeah.
gardening, landscaping, painting and
point-
decorating.
You guys just have to find a specific problem that stops a high ticket business, ideally, from scaling, right? And that brings us on to our next point, which is
What
about
high ticket?
about what is high ticket. Yeah, high ticket, we'd say, is a business that has an annual revenue of at least 500K plus. Now, usually it's a bit more, but at least 500K plus is something you can work with and you should work with. That's something that a 20K a month agency owner will work with. So essentially, these clients, you can make them upwards of 5 figures a month. That's the problem that you have to find. What is a bottleneck that this client is experiencing that if they solve, or if I can solve for them, they can have an extra 10K in revenue that month.
Yeah, right. So in this specific field, like the agency space, it's either going to be two things. It's going to be bringing them more leads or converting the leads that they already have. So this is easily going to fill in those cracks and easily get them 5 figures per month if you're in a high ticket niche. So in this specific case, it's essentially bringing them customers, so top of the funnel, and then converting those customers, which is exactly what we teach. What we do is lead gen and conversions through AI.
And then tracking is also important as
Yeah,
well.
because exactly.
With the tracking, you can actually see a bit more about the business, like more bottlenecks, right? Oh, this is kind of low, right? We can increase this, for example, show up rate or response rate, response time. Now that we're selling AI, we've bridged a new gap in these car rental and chauffeur businesses that we're working with, actually. So that's why tracking is so important.
And you do tracking on a CRM. So there's a CRM that we teach specifically and that we use. It's called High Level. And essentially a CRM is where the business will understand what's actually going on. Who's coming in from what? Is it from ads? Is it from phone calls? Whatever it is. How many of those are getting booked in? How many of those are being missed out on? Essentially just being able to track everything gives you that data. Businesses can't operate without data. So that trio, lead gen, conversion, and tracking, it's one of the best offers. You just have to portray it to the client's specific needs.
And guys, if you're watching this and thinking, I've tried to do that, but it's not working for me, you might not know it, but you're just in a low ticket niche, or you might be in a high ticket niche, but you're not making your clients enough return on investment. And guys, this is another limiting belief that you might have, because we used to have this. We didn't think we could make clients so much money, but you can. Like marketing, running ads, AI systems, even CRMs, like when you combine them, you can make clients big tons of money. So essentially you have to break that limiting belief first to be able to actually deliver for your clients. And then obviously it's an information thing again. If you know how you're going to deliver for your clients the results that you need to deliver, which is at least making them 5 figures per month for client satisfaction, then that is a knowledge gap that you need to fill again. And you guys might be solving medium or smaller problems, right? Like, for example, just generating leads alone, right? You can generate them leads, but what are they going to do with those leads? Are they contacting them quick enough? Are they good leads?
Yeah. So we've actually found those problems as we've grown. So there was this one client, remember the leads were coming through, but nobody was getting to those leads.
Yeah, they were taking like 2-3 days.
So it was just going to complete waste. Then that's when we thought we had to implement something so that we can convert those leads. And as we keep developing and developing, the offer just gets better and better. The client sees the value in it. So that's what you guys have to focus on. So instead of just a little kind of one service, always look to improve it and improve it and improve it. Your clients will notice.
Exactly. And to help you guys, we've even got videos on Geronimo's page about AI and these AI systems that we're actually implementing to help business owners bridge that gap.
100%.
And when you combine those, like I said, when you combine those services, you're bridging a lot of a bigger problem than just generating leads or just managing social media, right? So the final thing about the offer, when you're creating your offer that you need to have in mind is, are you focused on the results that you're bringing to clients? Because that's what the 20K a month agency owner is. Or are you just focused on inputs? What are you giving them? What are you doing for them? Because the difference is, if you're selling an all-in-one fit solution,
Like packages that aren't tailored, for example, trying to sell a plumber Facebook ads. Like nobody that has a broken or something's leaking is going to go on Facebook and, you know, try and look for a plumber. They're going to go to Google and they need an emergency plumber ASAP. So making sure that the offer that you have is actually going to help your ICP, your ideal customer profile.
that's why you have to tailor your offer. You don't just sell, oh, we just do lead generation for businesses.
Yeah.
Okay, nice, you do lead generation, but have you even understood if my business needs, you know, someone handling the inquiries, someone doing X, Y, Z, right? So the first thing you need to do is you need to have a list of services that you can combine for different clients to essentially help them scale and
so-
tailor these to their needs, right?
And understand your ICP's funnel. So let's walk them through like a little construction funnel. So there's leads, right, at the top of the funnel. Now, what does a construction company do? They get a lead. The lead, let's say they need a kitchen renovation. What happens when you need a kitchen renovation? You're going to contact the lead and then you're going to book the lead in. So middle of the funnel is quote. You're essentially going to now bring leads, get those leads booked into quotes, and then the client, all he has to do is convert, which is bottom of the funnel, which is just give them a good offer, show them the value, and the client converts. Once you understand your ICP and your niche's funnel, the way that they handle inquiries, how they deal with bookings, then you can essentially actually bring your services and tell them, look, this is what we do for top of the funnel, this is what we do for middle of the funnel. All you have to do is X, Y, Z.
That's
That
how you have to
tailor
your
it.
offer.
Exactly.
So essentially, you have to be concerned about actually helping your clients, not just selling packages. But that brings us onto the sales systems. Now, in a 20K per month agency, they're setting KPIs, they're doing the discovery calls properly, which we're going to get into, they're nurturing their leads, and they're reactivating pipeline and doing volume. Now, when you combine all these things, you hit 20K per month.
Gold, absolute gold.
But when you're operating without clear goals, you know, Monday, let me call this many businesses, Tuesday, this many, Wednesday, nothing, Thursday, a lot, not following up with leads, or you have poor discovery calls, you're rushing the nurturing process of your leads, your pipeline is dying out, you've got leads that were interested a week ago that are not responding anymore because you didn't nurture them properly, and your volume is inconsistent and too low, you just end up as a freelancer. Now,
So setting up your KPIs and goals. Now, guys, this is one of the most important things when it comes to your sales systems, because this is now your top of the funnel, right? This is how you are essentially making others aware of your service and what you have to offer. Now, if you don't have KPIs in place and, you know, it's inconsistent, then you're never going to build a real pipeline. Whereas, let's say you're booking 3 calls a day. 3 calls isn't even much, but 3 times 5, Monday to Friday, that's 15 calls you're getting booked in every single week. That adds up, right? That's how much for the month? 60 calls a month.
yeah,
So 60 calls a month. That's a good pipeline that you can, you know, reactivate. Even if people don't show up, even if people don't close, you're always going to be bringing customers just because you're sticking to KPIs. Now, if you do 1 meeting on Monday, no meetings on Tuesday, then 2 meetings on Wednesday, and it's very inconsistent, you're not going to have that. That's just going to lead to no sales at the end of the day. So making sure you're sticking to KPIs.
exactly. And that's why you need a predictable pipeline as well. Agencies don't grow with uncertain and inconsistent pipelines. You need to have a pipeline that is predictable to an extent. So if I'm doing X amount of calls on X days, I should be booking X amount of meetings throughout the week. Now that means that I'm going to be having X amount of meetings per week, and I'm tracking my show up rates, my closing rates, and using that data to essentially change my scripts, change my follow-up processes, change maybe even the structure of the calls. Whatever it is that you need to change, you only get that data from putting in enough volume and then having and you know, obviously analyzing how everything went.
Yeah, I'd actually love to show you guys one of the roadmaps I built for a student, which includes how you should reverse engineer the goal, right? So let's say this custom built roadmap, for example, reverse engineered KPIs, right? So let's say the target is to hit £5,000 a month and it's 5 clients at 1K a month with realistic funnel numbers. So let's say a 20% closing rate you need 25 people to show up to your sales calls. So you can close 20%, so you can make 5K a month. Now, let's say you have a 40% sales call show up rate. That means you need 63 booked sales calls so that 25 can show up, so that if you close 20%, you get 5K a month. And we'll take it even further. Let's say you have a 35% discovery call to sales call qualification rate, meaning that roughly 1 in 3 discovery calls turn into a sales call. Then you need 180 people to come to your discovery calls. Now, at 30% discovery call show up rate, which means 1 in every 3 roughly, you need 600 discovery calls booked in 90 days. Now, if we do the division, so 12 to 15 discovery calls a week equals 150 in 90 days.
So when you do the maths, it essentially allows you to hit your goals a lot clearer. And when you're, for example, on a call and someone doesn't show up or they don't close, you don't just have an emotional mood swing where it's like, oh, damn, man. Because you know, okay, that's just part of what I'm expecting. That's part of the process, right? So that's why we made it, to have a predictable pipeline for our student. And that's exactly why you guys should be setting your KPIs and working backwards. I mean, sometimes school maths does work, isn't it?
100%. That takes us to discovery calls, which is very important because this is essentially your ammo, right? This is what you're going to use to sell the client. So for example, understanding the client's pain points deeply and using these to tailor to the offer and sell. Now, one thing that we found selling AI is that not many businesses are as booked up as they say they are.
Yeah.
Because then when you start selling them AI and then they start telling you that the phone isn't ringing enough, they're not getting enough inquiries through the day, then we are able to see one of their pain points, which is top of the funnel again. So then we sell them to the marketing,
It's an upsell,
and the AI.
Exactly.
And this is only possible because of the discovery call, because we're finding things out about them specifically that we can use to tailor our offers and sell to them, right?
And what are freelancers doing on their discovery calls? They're not obtaining the right information. They're not digging deep enough into their pain points. And they're just trying to sell something without actually understanding if it even helps the prospect or not, right? And that comes across completely the wrong way. You want to come across as a doctor. You want to understand, okay, so you've been experiencing this for how long? And what have you tried to fix it? And this has not worked for you. Okay, cool. Why didn't it work? Okay, cool. So seems like you tried that really well and it didn't work. So maybe we should try something else. Okay, cool. So what we can actually do is we can implement this. How does that sound? Now, what you're doing is you're actually understanding the prospect's exact needs and exact pain points.
That's called diagnosing.
Exactly. And not just saying, okay, hi, so yeah, we do lead generation. Essentially, it's going to cost you 1.5K, you're just pitching them without understanding anything. So
Exactly.
the discovery part, I think, is the most important part because it also builds trust. If someone wants to sell me a car and they're asking me, so what cars do you like? Okay, and what cars have you had in the past? Or how do you like this one? Did you like the handling on that one? Because, you know, these cars are a bit similar. Okay, cool. So, I mean, based off everything you told me, I think you should try the Ferrari Pro Sangue.
Exactly.
And yeah, Ferrari Sangue soon, innit?
That's diagnosing and then prescribing.
Exactly, yeah.
You're not prescribing without first diagnosing. Because if you went to the doctors without you telling them that you're ill, they already told you, oh, look, you got a headache, you got this problem, take this medicine. You're not going to trust them, right? So it's important that you diagnose before prescribing.
Exactly.
And that's what a discovery call is all about.
Never rush that part, never.
Never rush that part.
Never.
Now, nurturing leads.
Nurturing leads is something that a lot of guys neglect, and we neglected it a lot as well, until we realized the power of it. Now, creating curiosity when you're speaking to them, don't just give everything, right? The way you speak has to be interesting. It has to hint at something, hint at what you potentially have to help them, right? So create curiosity instead of just giving everything out, right?
Yeah.
Sending social proof is something else. If you have social proof, use it. You know, if you've helped someone, why are you just keeping that a secret to yourself, right? You know, if someone wants to sell me a car, like, bro, I found Lewis Hamilton, his dream car. Oh, really? I'm interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Building rapport as well. Ask questions about what they like, what they do.
But I think even just touching up on social proof is, just leverage it. Oh, look, we're working with XYZ builds, and this is the system that we built them, and this is how much it's generated them in revenue.
And do you want to take a look?
Do you want to have a quick look?
That's it. You've got
Tell them what you literally did 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. So essentially, we're still outreaching to chauffeur businesses, of course. to sell them AI systems. And I'm outreaching on the Instagram page, and obviously I'm building curiosity with the first 2 messages. What I did is I messaged the chauffeuring business, hi there, and they took until the next day to respond, right? And I was like, oh, I just want to say, we're actually working with other fleets in London, etc., etc. And I noticed when booking with your fleet that you guys took quite a while to respond. Now, to complement your amazing fleet, we've actually built out a system for you guys to test out. We're running it for other fleets in London. It handles all inquiries automatically 24/7. So an amazing fleet like yours can have an amazing customer service. Boom. What do? I go into one of our clients that we're running the chauffeuring automation for, and I essentially just screen record me talking to the thing. I even sent a voice note and it works because our systems are amazing. And it's so easy to sell. I just sent the screen recording to him, and now we're going to see. And yeah, just to show you guys that an example of us doing this.
Like, look, guys, just so you guys know as well, it has literally just sent this, right? He's been sending it to a bunch of fleets, right? He's just showing them an example, screen recordings, Look, it's a long video showing how the AI responds. And, we're still here. We're testing the strategies, everything. And yeah, so essentially that's giving them social proof and building curiosity. Because they're like, how do you do that? Oh, you're working with this client. We know them actually. Essentially just putting us one step ahead of the game.
It separates you from the rest of the people just trying to pitch something, right? So you show them something really nice, you build that authority with the social proof, and then like, yeah, cool, I'd love to show you guys maybe how it could fit in for you. Let's jump on a call, let me speak to the right person. And that's what you have to do. You don't have to sell them on the product. All you have to do is sell the meeting.
Exactly. So next thing is pipeline reactivation. Now, when it comes to reactivating your pipeline, it's pretty simple. First, I'll tell you guys what the freelancer agency does, is he lets his pipeline die. So leads don't get recontacted. If he gets a no-show, he instantly thinks that that client is lost forever. Somebody says, call me back, he thinks it's a waste of time calling them back. He thinks that it's not worth nurturing leads. So they go cold forever. They don't get cash injections. 20K a month agencies hit up the pipeline for the last 3 months on the same day and get a crazy cash injection. Next day, calendars booked of sales calls. It's because they decided to reactivate the pipeline that they've been nurturing. So guys, make sure you're following up on old leads, on old no-shows, old people who said, call me back next month. Make sure you track, take notes, and actually contact them. Very important to reactivate a pipeline. And leads us to volume.
You have to do what's needed.
Do what is needed.
If you, like we said, Geronimo gave the amazing example of working out how many calls you have to make in order to book X amount of discovery calls to then get X amount of sales calls and therefore close X amount of clients, right? So when you work out that volume number, 1,000 or 800, 500. Okay, let's break that up over the week and let's get it done.
Exactly.
Let's not procrastinate. Let's not, I know it's easier said than done, right? But that's what the 20K a month agency owner is doing, and that's what the freelancer isn't. So you just have to take the choice. What do I want to do? Because if you can carry on the path you're on right now, or you can make that change, and you obviously reap the results.
If you carry on the path you're on right now, you're just going to stay on this side of the equation. Low volume, no meetings. But like we said, even takes us back to identity shifting. Your day-to-day has to change, and that comes to put in the volume. So it's very important you guys do that. There's not much we can really speak about. I mean, volume negates luck, If you do what you need to do, contact 100 businesses every single day so you can book X amount of meetings, then there's no kind of room for quote-unquote luck because you're doing the inputs you need to do.
I mean, even a rubbish script, if you do it, on a large enough scale, you can hit 10K a month.
Yeah.
Like if you contact the whole world with a rubbish script, you'll still sign clients.
Exactly.
But the reason why obviously you work on your script is to optimize so that you only need to do 500-800 calls a week in order to hit your goals and not 10,000.
Exactly.
So essentially that brings us on to the service delivery and retention side of things. Now, this is the gold a lot of you might be looking for, a lot of you might have been waiting for. The first thing that we're going to talk about, and this is super important, you guys have been hearing all about this on your social media profiles, even on Google, maybe even at school, implementing AI. Now, the 20K a month agency owner is always implementing AI where he can. What does it do? AI saves you time because a lot of the service that you're providing is handled. It's handled already. You know, it's automated, right? Back in the day when we used to work with these chauffeuring companies, there was a period, I know you remember, when we were generating Facebook leads and we were even managing the social media profile, where we were literally responding to inquiries, sending them the links, right?
Every single day. We would literally, bro, the client, if we missed a DM or two, because we were busy running our own business,
Sending
if
screenshots.
you're angry, like, why is this lead not contacted?
Exactly. So that's why we obviously look at implementing AI as much as possible, because it saves you time and it saves the client time as well. It also gives them systems. You're not just selling a service, you're selling a system. It's a lot more sticky as a service, which you're going to get onto next.
Runs 24/7. So guys, put it this way, right? It's not only saving them time, but it's saving them money. Because then now they don't have to hire somebody like a receptionist or a social media manager to do that. Because the AI is doing it 24/7. So instead of paying someone average wage, right? They can just pay a lot less for the AI. And then it's going to be running 24/7.
And it's going to have a high conversion rate because it replies within the same minute.
Exactly.
So if someone wants something and you take an hour to respond, they might have gone outside, they might have gone to get food, they might now be comfortable, they might have gone to sleep, they might have gone to the gym, they lose that motivation to buy it. But if you're responding ASAP, you have a high chance of converting them and generating your client more money. And you need to care about your client as if it's your own business. So you have to implement AI.
So
You have to. It's simple as that.
there was a study done as well on leads, and leads that failed to be contacted within the first 5 minutes,
Study by Harvard, by the way.
they decreased by 60%.
Yeah.
So if you fail to contact your leads in the first 5 minutes-ish, then you already have a 60% less chance of converting them, which is very normal when it comes to manual work, right? You're busy, you might be going for a cup of coffee, out and about, you can't get back to the lead, you've lost the lead, they've gone to another company. And actually help them understand that, help the prospect understand the numerical value that they're missing out on. Every missed call, out of 10 missed calls, you know, how much money is that? How many quotes are they missing out per 10 calls that they can't respond to? And then that leads to how many conversions. You get them to understand the logic side of things, then getting them to understand the emotional side of things as well. It's easy.
It's easy. Like with your service, ask yourself these two questions. Am I making them more money? And am I saving them more time? And combine those together. Because if you come to someone and you tell them, I'll make you more money and I'll free up more time, let's do it.
Easy.
Let's do it. So essentially, yeah, AI, very, 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 very needed in your agency. Can't stress it even more.
Absolutely, bro. So that takes us to sticky services. Now, essentially, it's offering full systems that are crucial for the business. That goes slightly, that correlates with offer. So that kind of trio, lead gen plus conversion plus tracking, that leads to having a sticky service. So
Offering
the full systems.
Exactly. Because if you're just offering Facebook ads, they can replace you today, they can replace you tomorrow. They might not need you anymore once their calendar gets booked, right? So you have a much higher chance of losing that client. But if you have a sticky service, if you have a full system, for example, the CRM, where they log in every day and check leads and respond to, or call leads or contact leads. Obviously with AI now, the AI is doing that, which is even more of a sticky service, because if they remove the AI systems that you've put in place, now they have to do the manual labor. They have to change the whole schedule to now accommodate that change. So essentially, if your service is sticky, the chance of you retaining the client is a lot higher. If you were to run a research on this, it'd probably be like, what, 10x? 10x, 20x,
100%.
maybe even more. But essentially, what sticky service is, they rely on you, they need you. And if you're not there, then they have to make major changes to their business, and it's left
Their lifestyle as well, bro. It's not even just about their business.
Exactly.
Once you get a prospect to understand the money you're making them and the time you're saving them, how is that impacting them in their personal life? They get to spend more time with the kids, with the family. They get to, you know, treat the wife for a nice dinner, things like this, right? If they were to get rid of you and your service, instantly they can't spend more time with the kids. They lose revenue. So being able to develop that sticky service is what's going to position you as that authority.
And make sure they rely on you. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Ask yourself this question. Do you guys, or do you think that your service is something that your client needs? Do they need it?
Or is it just nice to have? Because for a lot of you, it might just be nice to have.
And how easy is it for your client to just replace you, to just say, yeah, we found someone cheaper?
Exactly.
So that brings us on to the last point of the video, and that is the relationship.
So we've been able to maintain a relationship with a client for over 3 years, guys, right? He's brought us a lot of new business. Like every month, It's like he brings us new business.
Yeah.
And that all comes down to relationship. And here are the 20K a month agency kind of relationship frameworks, and then the freelancer ones.
So essentially, the 20K a month agency owner, what is he doing? He's going the extra mile. When we first started, we obviously weren't at 20K a month, right? But showing them the drive, the hunger, going the extra mile, doing more than promised, right? That put us into this category of person. That allowed us to attract the 20K a month, right? Because we went the extra mile. If you're just providing a service to a client and everything is transactional, you're not trying to be helpful, you're trying to charge them for everything. Sometimes it's good to, take a little cut, not a cut, but do something extra, even if it's not paid, and it builds that relationship, because they will bring you business. Oh, this guy is so helpful, But yeah, that's going the extra mile. Now, in terms of putting a sell on everything, you tell them, obviously,
Yeah, so
sales is life.
putting a sell on everything.
Yeah.
Now, you could even do this day-to-day, family, relationship, just saying like, if the client asks you to do something and it might not be in your, contract or agreement, just saying something like, yeah, you know what, I'll get that done for you. Or there's a better way to phrase it.
Or for example, they're like, I need this done tonight. Nah, you know what? I'm out of the family right now, but I'll pull into a cafe for 20 minutes and get this done for you. Instead of just saying, yeah, for you. Because you're gonna get it done either way, right? You might as well put a sell to it. Might as well make them feel indebted to you, right? So
Yeah.
always try.
Or if they ask you for something else and you know it's not, like I said, in the agreement, you'd be like,
usually we don't do this for clients.
yeah, but for you, bam. So just put a sell on everything. Angie even spoke about that as well. And then when it comes to meeting up, obviously if they're local, then meet up with them. We meet up with a client. We go drive nice cars with the car rental client.
Yo, you see what it is with the car rental clients here? Because they love cars and we love cars here. You see when you meet up and they've got a G63 Urus, whatever it is, bro. You can even scroll back into the Instagram page. You'll see there's highlights of us just whipping cars with that.
Everything.
Bro,
yeah.
It's adrenaline, it's dopamine. You're building that relationship because you're just there. You both have a common interest and it's an enjoyable thing. You're not just doing business. You're enjoying cars together with them. It's a new experience, and that's where you guys need to expand your mind. It's not just about money and transactions, right?
That might not be possible for you guys, not meeting up, but at least hop on Zoom calls every week with a client.
Or even just bro. So, bro, the other day we even FaceTimed a client. You'll be like, FaceTiming a client, so unprofessional. It builds a relationship. We was like, you come back from work. How was your day? Boom.
Yeah, bam. Oh, look, obviously don't do it out of the blue.
Yeah, if there's something to report them on. Your girlfriend is not your wife. Yeah, like
if there's something to like, oh look, we got 3 leads today. Like, just wanted to, ask you how do you think things are going.
Yeah, okay. And advise as well. Don't call your client at 11 p.m. and then say that we told you to do that. Make sure you're not being stupid. But yeah.
Yeah, just building that relationship essentially is gonna lead to referrals. It's gonna essentially just help you retain the client.
Exactly.
And that, guys, is the 20K a month recipe. So that was a pretty saucy video, I'm not gonna lie. Now, if you want help from me and Ilyas directly to help you guys kind of grow your agencies, wherever you are now, whether you want to get started, whether you're stuck, you want to scale to 10K a month, then go ahead and book a call in the link down below. Or if you have any questions about anything, feel free to shoot us a message on Instagram as well at Jero Agency, or just link in the description. The Instagram's there as well. But that was a great video. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe for more value, and stay tuned for the next one.
See you guys.
That was cold. That was a sick vid. I'm not gonna lie.